Have you noticed how much you're paying at the pump lately? It's hard not to when gas prices are surging in a manner that has both experts and analysts on high alert. This sudden increase is becoming a significant concern, and it's not just for those of us who drive. The implications of this trend could spell out a considerable strain on American households in the near future. Bloomberg, a renowned financial software data and media company, has indicated that there's an increased likelihood of oil reaching a whopping $100 per barrel. This surge is due to a phenomenon known as supply shocks, sudden disruptions in the supply of goods or services. If this prediction holds true, the ripple effects on our everyday expenses and the broader economy could be substantial, to say the least. Now, why should this concern us? Well, if we look back at history, high oil prices have often resulted in elevated gas prices, and these, in turn, have major implications for inflation and the overall cost of living. The last time oil prices soared to $100 per barrel, the United States saw its highest gas prices on record in June of 2022. Back then, the national average was a staggering $5.01. That period was marked by significant economic strain for many American households, with increased work hours and altered commuting habits as people sought to mitigate the financial impact of rising fuel costs. So with this recent surge, could we be headed there again? The answer isn't clear-cut, but it's a possibility we must prepare for. The concern isn't limited to just the pump. High gas prices influence various aspects of the economy, from transportation and consumer spending to business costs, and most importantly, inflation. The last time oil prices soared this high, we saw record-breaking gas prices. Could we be headed there again? As we navigate these uncertain times, it's essential to keep an eye on the trends, understand their potential impacts, and plan accordingly. Let's delve deeper into this in the next scene. But the concern isn't just about the cost at the pump. When gas prices surge, the ripple effects reach far beyond the fuel gauge in your vehicle. It's an economic domino effect that touches every corner of our lives, from the way we commute to the way we consume. First, let's talk transportation. As gas prices rise, so do the costs of getting goods from point A to point B. That means the price tags on everything from your morning cup of coffee to the new pair of shoes you've been eyeing could see a hike. It's not just about how much it costs to fill up your tank. It's also about how much it costs to fill up your shopping cart. Next, consider consumer spending. When you're shelling out more at the gas station, there's less left over for other purchases. This can lead to a decrease in consumer spending, which in turn can slow economic growth. It's a cycle that can affect everyone, from the local restaurant owner to the multinational corporation. Then there's the impact on businesses. For companies that rely on transportation for their operations, think delivery services, logistics companies, and manufacturers, higher gas prices mean higher operational costs. And often these costs are passed down to the consumer, further inflating prices and straining budgets. But perhaps the most significant ripple effect of rising gas prices is inflation. As prices rise, so does the cost of living. A surge in gas prices can contribute to an overall increase in inflation, which can erode purchasing power and put a strain on household finances. With the current inflation rate already hovering around 3.2% and the potential for it to climb further, the situation is a serious concern. The upshot is this: when gas prices climb, it's not just our wallets that feel the pinch. The ripple effects of rising gas prices touch every aspect of our economy, influencing our spending habits, the way businesses operate, and even the overall health of our economy. It's a complex issue with far-reaching implications and one that demands our attention. So, how do these rising gas prices affect our daily lives and businesses? Well, let's delve into that. As pump prices climb, we're witnessing a significant shift in consumer behavior. People are becoming more conscious of their fuel usage and are exploring alternatives. One of the most notable changes? The increased interest in fuel-efficient vehicles. More and more, consumers are opting for electric and hybrid cars, marking a substantial shift in preferences. This trend isn't just about saving money at the pump. It's also about environmental consciousness and the desire to reduce our carbon footprint. So, high gas prices are not only influencing our wallets, but also our choices and our impact on the planet. But it's not just consumers feeling the pinch. Businesses are also under pressure. Higher gas prices mean increased transportation and logistics costs. Imagine a delivery service or a construction company. They rely heavily on transportation. When gas prices go up, their operational expenses surge. And guess what? These costs often don't stay with the businesses. They trickle down to us, the consumers, in the form of higher prices for goods and services. Think about the construction industry. Higher transportation costs lead to more expensive materials, which in turn increase the cost of construction. This can exacerbate the housing affordability crisis, making it even harder for people to buy homes. The ripple effects of rising gas prices extend far beyond the gas station. They infiltrate almost every aspect of our lives, from what we drive to how much we pay for goods and services, and even where we live. So, as gas prices rise, we're all feeling the impact, whether we're filling up at the pump or not. Consumers are changing their behavior, businesses are adjusting their operations, and we're all finding ways to adapt in the face of these rising costs. And remember, these changes are not just about today. They're shaping our future, influencing trends and behaviors that will define the years to come. As gas prices rise, both consumers and businesses have to adapt. Inflation is a word we're hearing a lot these days. But how are gas prices contributing to this? Well, let's break it down. Rising gas prices are a key driver of inflation, which is essentially an increase in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over time. When gas prices surge, it affects the cost of transportation. This in turn impacts the price of nearly everything we consume, from the groceries we buy to the services we use. Think of it like a domino effect. Higher gas prices mean higher transportation costs for businesses, which then get passed along to consumers in the form of increased prices for goods and services. This includes everything from the food on your table, the clothes on your back, to the electronics you use daily. But it's not just about consumer goods. Rising gas prices also indirectly impact the cost of living in other ways. For instance, the construction industry, which relies heavily on transportation for moving materials, faces higher costs when gas prices rise. This can lead to an increase in the cost of housing, thereby exacerbating the housing affordability crisis that many Americans are already grappling with. In fact, the current inflation rate is hovering around 3.2%, a figure that could climb even higher if gas prices continue their upward trajectory. The Federal Reserve, which uses interest rates to control inflation, is in a tricky spot. While lowering interest rates could ease the burden on households, it could also fuel further inflation, especially if gas prices keep escalating. So you see, the impact of rising gas prices extends far beyond the pump. It trickles down into every corner of the economy, driving up the cost of living and putting additional financial strain on American households. Inflation, therefore, is not just an abstract concept discussed by economists. It's a very real issue that touches every aspect of our lives, from the food we eat, the homes we live in, to the clothes we wear. Rising gas prices don't just affect your drive to work, they affect your entire cost of living. So, where do we go from here, you might ask? The future, as they say, is a foggy road, especially when it comes to the economy. But there are a few things we can anticipate. Firstly, all eyes are on the upcoming release of the new Consumer Price Index report. This report is a crucial barometer of inflation, providing insights into the price trends of a basket of goods and services, including gasoline. Given the current economic landscape, this report is expected to offer valuable insights into the inflationary trends we're witnessing and can help us gauge the potential long-term impacts of rising gas prices on the American economy. Now let's talk about those long-term impacts. If the past is any indicator, we can expect rising gas prices to have a ripple effect on various aspects of the economy. It's not just about paying more at the pump, it's about how these costs seep into other areas of life, from the price of groceries to the cost of your morning coffee. The transportation industry is one of the most directly affected sectors. Think about the goods you buy online. They don't just magically appear at your doorstep. They're transported across cities, states, even countries. And as fuel costs rise, so does the cost of shipping. This cost is often passed down to consumers, affecting the price of virtually everything you buy. Let's not forget about the housing market. With rising transportation costs, the price of transporting construction materials also goes up. This can lead to increased construction costs, further exacerbating the housing affordability crisis that many American households are already grappling with. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, it's clear that the current uptick in gas prices is more than just a blip on the radar. It's a symptom of broader economic pressures that could have far-reaching effects on American households. As we navigate these uncertain times, strategic planning and budgeting become more critical than ever. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and making informed decisions that safeguard our financial well-being. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about surviving these challenges, it's about thriving despite them.